Let's see if we can turn this vehicle from this configuration with respect to the driving lights to this configuration. Step one, find yourself a donor vehicle that has driving lights. Remove the under tray plastic from the front bumper here so you can get access. I've already removed this, but what holds it in is these two tabs that you have to obviously depress so you can get them through the slot. These just pop in and then the tabs pop out to retain it. And the third point of retention is the plastic button here, which is on the adjuster. So pretty straightforward. Obviously the connector needs to be removed. Tab is on the rear, the aft side of the assembly, so it's easy to access. As I said, pop the two tabs in, pop the two little wings on the button, and the whole assembly will remove. Now obviously these lenses need polished. 416,000 kilometers of grip blasting. So here's what it looks like from the backside, guys, before you remove it, of course. So you can see the two tabs, how the wings splay out and retain it, and again the two wee wings on the button there on the adjuster. So the first thing you're going to have to do is get the connector off. So once you've got the wings depressed on both retaining tabs there, and they are ball jointed so you can move them to a degree, and again the wings on the little adjustment cap there on the front side, just withdraw the whole works. Okay, that is super bizarre. This is the one I took out the right hand, and the casting says left. This is the one I took out of the left hand, when the casting says right. Very strange indeed. Okay, hang on a sec. So what's the likelihood Suzuki put these in on the wrong side, as opposed to this front end was damaged one time, not by me, I promise. And as you can see, that's not factory paint, right? So I suspect these were probably removed for the front bumper surround to be painted, and I bet you any money they were put in backwards or offside anyway. So open the hood if you haven't already done so. Left hand corner is the distribution box here. Open it. Consult the drawing here on the inside. So it's going to show you two things of interest. Here you can see the relays. So what we were interested in, front fog is what we were interested in. Right, so if in doubt, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the second one back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be this one. Second one back. Right. Colored relay in the line. Take that. You're going to need it. And of course, there's going to be a fuse that feeds the fog lights. There won't be a power and a control, but we'll get to that later. We'll consult the drawing. 20 amp front fog. Use the little tool there provided. There it is right there. Again, just follow the diagram and you'll find it. Inboard row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the only 20 amp fuse in the line. Pair of needle nose will come in handy if required. Just give it a wee twist. This has never been removed. There you go. You're going to need that. So you'll need the relay and you'll need the fuse. So obviously at the instrument panel here, guys, if you're talking about a left-hand drive, it'll be on your left-hand side. A couple of switches here. Okay, so I had to figure this out. That's why this has already been removed, but I had to figure out how we actually do it, because I thought you would remove the knee panel here and it'd give you access to the backside, but no, that's not the case. So what I did was I pried this. If screwdriver, use a screwdriver if you have to, but a pick like this is nice, you know. Pry it down on the top side, and then you can pull this out, right? So this is just a blanking plate, and it's designed a wee bit differently from, you can see there's a horseshoe hook here on the top side. It's designed a wee bit differently, and I think that blanking plate there is designed to give you access to the rest of the switches. So if you get, now you have a wee bit of access to behind, and you can use a pick that's hooked like this, and you can pry up on the tabs, pry down on the tab on the top side, and then you can see that you've got, again, two wings that retain this. And the idea is you're trying to of course, position the wings down so you can pull the switch out. And then once this one is out, it'll give you access to this one. So you kind of have to work from the inboard towards the outboard to get this switch. So a wee bit tricky, but easily doable once you figure it out. See, every day a school day, ever since I've owned this car, I always found it strange that this switch was not backlit. There's no integral lighting on it, right? Of course, there's the little green light that comes on to tell you when the switch is actually active, when your fog lights or driving lights are actually on. But I see here that they are actually replaceable, it looks like, right? That would be the green telling you the lights are on, and this is the red backlighting. Maybe I'll look that up, see if they're available. Well, I thought I would attempt to polish the lenses here, guys, but because the glass, I virtually made no impression on them at all. They're pretty grit blasted, but just live with that, I guess. Yeah, so now that they're on the bench here, it's easy to see that they are definitely sighted. Can you see the way they're angled differently? So you can install them backwards, so be aware of that, because surprisingly the mount is symmetrical on both of them. But yeah, I guess I've been driving with this on the wrong side, meaning the light was probably casting more in the center of the road as opposed to the out to the sides a wee bit, I guess. It'd have to be, look, judging by the angle. So once you've got all these bits removed from your donor vehicle, time to get to work on your other one. You plan on installing them in. Okay, so I'm uncertain which drawing is the correct one in the case of my car, Canadian model, guys. You would think it would be the Accept Taiwan drawing, but believe it or not, there has been cases where I've been following the wiring diagram and it turned out to be the Taiwanese model was the same as the Canadian model, at least with respect to that circuit. But in any case, there's the 20 amp fuse in the junction box. It is listed as 20 amps, so that's correct. And that supplies just the load current to the two lamps that are in the front bumper surround, right? So you can see here, as far as the control to the relay is concerned, it comes via the headlight stock, and then the switch itself, of course, the fog light switch. So you have to have the headlights on and not in the high beam configuration in order for the fog or the driving lights to actually be operative. So in this case, that applies the power to the relay to energize the relay, and there's just a hard ground on this drawing. The difference being for the Taiwanese model, and as I said, I have had occasion in the past where the Canadian cars have been the same as the Taiwanese model. The only difference is it basically goes to the body control module for control. But the other configuration is the same 20 amp fuse going to the relay and the switch, but you'll notice instead of the power looping around to energize the relay with a hard ground, the ground actually comes from the body control module. again, depending on which part of the world, which configuration your car is, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, for the retrofit, you need the fuse, you need the relay, you need the switch, and of course you need the lamps. Well, I'll just mention this before I close the video proper here, guys. Some of you are probably thinking, well, is it okay to just add the 2 lights with respect to the electrical load? You know, is it savvy with respect to an electrical load analysis? Well, as far as I know, on the J20A engines, there was only one alternator offered. I'm talking about the 2-liter gasoline models, guys. As far as I know, there was only the single 80 amp alternator. It didn't matter what the configuration of the car is. Again, with respect to the 2-liter gasoline, that's all that was available in Canada. Now, I am swapping between A-type and B-type engines here, guys. So there is a little bit of a difference in that regard. If you have a CVT car and had a 75 amp alternator with a clutch on the front of the alternator and an 80 amp, different alternators but the same ratings. So as far as I can tell, it makes no difference with the additional load. Yeah, it's a 20 amp fuse, but it's only like 55 watts aside, so a little over an additional load of 100 watts. It shouldn't make any difference. So it's a few days later, guys, in the filming, and it's pissing down with rain again. Grass is green once again. It's been a scorching summer, very dry indeed, but last couple of days it's been raining, so it's good. Yeah, so as you can see through the magic of film here, all of a sudden the SX4 has changed into a different car here, the one without the fog lights. So let's get the under tray plastic off, or at least access, and we'll see what we can see is underneath. I've got all the parts that are ready here. As I mentioned, I tried to just use some compound, ribbon compound, to clean the lens up a wee bit. Didn't a wee bit of research. Apparently you can use cerium oxide and polish the glass, but from what I can tell, there's varying opinions on how successful it is, so I decided that to hell with it, just live with the lenses as they are. So again, lamps of course, switch, relay and fuse, and I'm hoping all the harnesses inside. Looks like the blanking cap there will just pop out easy enough. Let's see. Okay, so from the bottom side here, guys, I just have the small piece of under tray plastic removed. Find the washer bottle. Look to the inboard side, up right there. There's the one connector there. You see the blue tape that's stowing it? Okay, that's the right hand side. Again, the water bottle. That's the harness. Same plastic removed on the other side. This one's easier to find. It's kind of staring you in the face. Right there, right next to the bumper surround housing for the lamp itself, right? Three plastic tabs that you have to kind of release from the inside. Impossible to show you on the camera, but simple enough. The adjuster here, guys, is adjustable. You can see through the third point of retention there. You can get a screwdriver on it, and you can adjust it if it's grossly out of whack. I'm not going to touch this because I'm sure if the camera will pick it up. Plastic's got a little fracture in it right there. I do not want this to fall apart, so we better adjustment. I can live with that. But anyway, for those that don't live in extremely corrosive environments, you might be able to adjust that just fine if required. On the right hand side of your car, take the right hand assembly, lamp assembly, line up the adjustment button there, two little wings, two tabs with the two little wings. Try and line it up best you can. Be tricky. I'll not be able to do this with one hand, guys, but I'll bring you back. I'll show you the inside here. So lined up on the other side, just push it in. You want to make sure the tabs there actually in position here, which that one isn't. Again, I'll bring you back. I need two hands here. Since it's been open to the elements for 14 years, these spritz, no cap, no factory cap on it. And I'm going to put a wee touch of dielectric grease on it, on the contacts here. Because I am an obsessive head case. Speaking of obsessive head case, the sharp-eyed among you will see I've changed the plastic conduit tubing for the wiring here, because it was just a bit short and it was actually exposing a fair length of the wire. So again, in keeping with my obsessive head case thinking, so that's the right one, all done there. You can see I taped the end of the plastic conduit there, guys, just so it wouldn't split, and I added a tie wrap just to keep the harness secure, because it is quite a length of harness there. Once the air flow is moving through the front end here, it could move around a fair bit, I would think. And this one on the left, just as per the factory, because there's a harness retention point right there, and clipped in, same as the other side, of course. Because this is a 2011, guys, the dashboard is different. The dimming is actually done at the dashboard itself, so there's no dimmer switch here, but it's a blanking plate, dimmer, and a fog light switch on the earlier generation. So I'm just going to pop these out. I won't be able to do it on camera, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully the harness is easily accessible, otherwise I've wasted my time. So pop the little blanking plate that you remove to get access. There's an up telling you the orientation. Snaps back in place. And remove the connector, depress the tab. Remove it from the blanking cap. Your switch, the little green light, looks like an LED, but it's actually an incandescent through a little prism. Connector flips. Let's see if the connector fits is keyed properly. It is. Okay, that is in place. Again, oriented like that. That should just pop back in place. Very nice. I didn't get the not yet anyway. I haven't got the incandescent light for the backlighting, the integral lighting in the switch, so it won't be lit at night, but it hasn't been lit at night for over a dozen years for me, so I think I'll be okay. By the way, guys, if you get a wee bit overzealous with your screwdriver or your pick or whatever, you apply a wee touch of mild heat. Don't go nuts and set your dash on fire. You know, you can coax it back in, so it's virtually invisible, any marks you may have left. Again, back at the under hood distribution box here, guys. Pop the cap. And that tells you, you can see the fog light and the 20 amp fuse that we removed from the other box. Strangely, the 20 amp fuse is actually there. Didn't expect that to be there. And the relay is missing. Grab the relay here. This mess of tools. Where the hell did I put it? In my pocket, of course. Again, won't need the fuse, I guess. And yeah, just make sure you get it oriented correctly. It'll only go in one way. He says. There we go. That's my ramps, not my car, fortunately. Right, I guess, you know what, I'm just going to take that in and out a couple of times just to scrub the contacts a wee bit. Again, since it's been open for a better part of 15 years. Okay. Let's try it. So, bump. Yeah. There we go. That's weird. The lights are functional, but I don't have the green light. Perhaps I might get ahead of myself here. So both the lights actually functional. 1, 2. Yeah, that's good. It's a bit weird, eh? Perhaps the ignition has to be on. I'm not sure about that. Let's check. Honestly, I don't know how to rationalize that, guys. I just cycled it a few times and it's fine. You don't need the ignition on. That was nonsense. But you do need the headlights on. Again, if you go on a high beam, it turns the fog lights off. So just be aware of that when you're functioning. Although most people will be well aware of that if they're familiar with the car. That's it, guys. I guess we're all good. We'll call that good. It's not a major project. It's pretty straightforward. If you've got the bits for another car, it's just plug and play, really, right? Just a word about these relays. Don't be tempted to use a blue relay if you have one. I believe the beige ones have a different current rating, so make sure you use the beige ones. Right, that's it, boys. Cheers. Okay, so just one last point about the load here, guys. So the driving lights, the fog lights are off. It's just the headlights, the marker lights, and the tail lights will be on, of course. So that is drawing 13 amps of current. Let me zero the amp clamp here. So it's a relative zero, so it's ignoring that current now. So now it will measure just the current coming from the fog lights. So you can see they are on. Fog lights, to me these are driving lights because they're no amber, right? But Suzuki calls them fog lights. We'll call them fog lights. So that's drawing 8 amps, 8 times 12, 96. It's a wee bit more than 8 amps, a wee bit more than 12 volts. That adds up because I believe the fog light lamps are 55 watts each.